I cannot believe this. After the trade deadline and all the moves that the Dallas Mavericks have made, I think it's safe to say that Nico Harrison really wanted to change this whole team's identity into his own image, going after an offensive and defensive threat like Anthony Davis, getting a young, great talent like Max Christie, who's been playing like the second coming of Kobe Bryant, but also trading away Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin, who will come back after the All-Star break and provide us with the much-needed defense with all the injuries that we currently have. However, there is one other player that the Dallas Mavericks have really been trying to go after in the buyout market, and that player was Ben Simmons, who is now with the Los Angeles Clippers. But in this video, we're going to take a look at what happened with the whole Ben Simmons acquisition, what stopped us from going after him, as well as we do have an update on the Dallas Mavericks odds of getting Kevin Durant. How's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 19,779 subscribers, getting oh so close to 20K. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related with our live streams, our watch alongs, our news vids just like this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But as we all know, the Dallas Mavericks have been making some headlines and making some waves in the media based on the moves that they've made over the last few weeks, trading away Luka Doncic as well as Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris, getting back Anthony Davis and Max Christie, where we saw a glimpse of what Anthony Davis could do in that game against the Houston Rockets, providing amazing defense, just completely stopping the offense of the Rockets, but also bolstering our own defense, giving us an amazing offensive weapon and threat, as well as even though AD did go down, we do have Max Christie, who, like I said before, is like the second coming of Kobe Bryant. He's been playing amazing basketball, an amazing 3-and-D player, as well as a point-of-attack defender who isn't afraid to pick up the other team's best player at full court, and even late in games has been amazing and clutch for this Dallas Mavericks team. And the other trade that we did make, trading away a young, great talent like Quentin Grimes for an older talent in Caleb Martin. But in another video a few days ago, we explained how that was really just a money move as well as a production move. Obviously, Quentin Grimes didn't re-sign his contract or didn't sign an extension before the season started after we traded for him, so not want to have to worry about contract negotiations over the summer is something that the Dallas Mavericks were obviously thinking about. As well as if you trade away Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris and you get back Caleb Martin, it sounds like you actually are getting more value back. Markieff Morris never really played unless everybody was hurt or it was garbage time. Maxi Kleber was always injured, so obviously he's only halfway available. But Caleb Martin, when he comes back from injury, will be more available and more productive than those players. But amongst all these trades, Nico Harrison was still on those phones trying to make another move happen. And we got the report just the other day that the Dallas Mavericks had interest in joining the buyout market, bidding for Ben Simmons per the Stein line, saying creating sufficient wiggle room to try to beat out the Clippers, Rockets, and Cleveland Cavaliers for Simmons was not mathematically possible. And there's a lot of reasons for this. Obviously, we all know when we traded for Anthony Davis, he waived his trade kicker, gave us a little bit of wiggle room, and I appreciate it because obviously that trade, we didn't feel like we were getting a lot back. But if you make more moves, it kind of makes that trade seem halfway decent. But then we also made the trade sending away Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin, which was the reason why we couldn't really be active in the buyout market. As of now, we haven't gotten anybody. Who knows if we're still going to get somebody? Maybe give one of our two-way guys a actual guaranteed contract, someone like Kessler Edwards. But the reason for all of this is right here. League sources say that Dallas had interest in joining the buyout market bidding for Ben Simmons, who swiftly joined the LA Clippers after negotiating his release from the Brooklyn Nets, and held appeal to the Mavericks as a small ball center. The Mavericks, though, sit less than $200K away from the NBA's first luxury tax apron, even after Davis waived his trade kicker upon learning that the Lakers were dealing him to Dallas for Doncic, with Caleb Martin's trade kicker hiking his salary from $9.2 million to $10.4 million, going up $1.2 million since he got traded. $1 million for apron purposes after the Mavericks acquired Martin from Philadelphia, creating sufficient wiggle room to try to beat out the Clippers, Rockets, and Cleveland Cavaliers for Simmons was not mathematically possible. So if you feel a little bit upset with Anthony Davis, if you're an AD hater, at least he waived his trade kicker to try to give us some room to go after another player. And if you do have any misplaced hate, put it towards Caleb Martin, who when he got traded did not waive the $1.2 million trade kicker in his contract, which made it impossible for us to really go after any anybody. And I imagine Nico Harrison, the rest of the guys in the front office, Michael Finley as well, we're trying to get multi-team trades in the works, trying to make the money work somehow to try and get someone so we could go and acquire Ben Simmons. And I already know what the comment section is going to look like. Ben Simmons is always hurt. Ben Simmons is never available. He's worse than Anthony Davis when it comes to being available to play games, and I understand. However, if we take a look right here, for the season, Ben Simmons is putting up 6.4 points, 5.3 rebounds, 6.9 assists, 0.5 blocks, 0.9 steals, 2.6 turnovers, and 2.4 fouls per game, while shooting 55% from the field, and he knows better than to shoot a three-pointer. We don't even have any data on that. Now, obviously, this does not look like the Rookie of the Year, the All-Star, All-NBA player that Ben Simmons once was, but in a smaller role than I think playing alongside Kyrie or even off the bench for Kyrie, Ben Simmons could provide a lot for us. Now, obviously, we know that Ben Simmons hasn't always been available. He's hurt, and maybe that just aids to Nico Harrison really just going after players who are hurt. Anthony Davis currently out. Caleb Martin's out. If we went out and got Ben Simmons, who knows when he would be out. But if we take a closer look right here, over the last few seasons, he's been playing less than 42 games. The year after his back injury, he played 42 games. The next season, only 15, then 34, then 33, and so far one with the Clippers. So maybe it's a good thing that we didn't go after Ben Simmons. And shout out to my homie JB, good friend of mine, who has always been an advocate for Ben Simmons on this team. And I see what that could really be. Ben Simmons being a small ball 5, like they said in the article, would be huge for us, especially since we don't have any centers. We have no size right now. Derrick Lively's out. Daniel Gafford's out. Dwight Powell's out. AD's out. PJ's out. So yes, if you just give a vet minimum to a guy like Ben Simmons, what's the worst he could do? You're not relying on him to be the focal point of your offense, but more so your defense, which he can do. He's still a great defender, but even so, he could also play the point guard, back up Kyrie, play alongside Kyrie, help with the playmaking. But I also understand that going after someone who can't play more than 40 games a season over the last 4 or 5 seasons, a guy that you don't really know how reliable he can be, that's the gamble that you have to take. Some people may say that is a silver lining that Caleb Martin didn't waive his trade kicker so we couldn't get Ben Simmons, where I know some people were like, we have one open roster spot. Go out and get somebody. But if we take a closer look right here, in his debut, Ben Simmons did put up 12 points. He was 4 or 5 from the field with 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals in 27 minutes off the bench for the Clippers to win in overtime. So imagine having Ben Simmons in place of Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, I know Spencer's been playing up and down for us. I'm not going to lie. I do like Spencer Dinwiddie in moments, and some moments I don't, especially late in the game when it's really close. His lack of defense is very frustrating. But if you replace that with someone like Ben Simmons, where he can play make, he can play defense, the scoring is still somewhat there. It's not as explosive as it once was. Maybe that does help the Dallas Mavericks. Who knows? But another news of the trade world that we currently have is the odds of the Dallas Mavericks getting Kevin Durant. On this channel, we went over how there was just rumors floating around that the Mavericks were aggressively pursuing Kevin Durant up until the final hour of the trade deadline. Ultimately, nothing happened. Kevin Durant is still on the Suns, but there were more reports that followed saying that Kevin Durant and the Suns, they know their time is up. And over the summer, Kevin Durant could be dealt away from the Phoenix Suns. And with the situation in Phoenix, they're obviously going to look for young players, look for draft capital, and maybe even a young star in return to pair with someone like Devin Booker. Obviously, they still have Bradley Beal, who most likely isn't going to go anywhere because he has a no-trade clause, and I doubt he's going to allow them to send him to just anywhere. But if we take a look right here, the report came out saying the Houston Rockets are the favorites to land Kevin Durant if he's not with the Suns next season. The Houston Rockets, the New York Knicks, the Golden State Warriors, Miami, Oklahoma, and then there's us, Dallas. We have the same odds as the Oklahoma City Thunder, which they've got a lot of draft picks. They got a lot of young players. If the Suns really wanted to go through a rebuild, maybe they go to Oklahoma. Maybe they say, hey, we'll send Kevin Durant back to you guys, which I'm sure the fans would love, or maybe they wouldn't love it. But also, we can just get some of those picks and those young players. The Dallas Mavericks, if we were to aggressively pursue Kevin Durant, in which I'm sure we were, you're going to have to give up some of our young guys. And the way this team is currently constructed, you really don't want to mess with it too much than you already have. You're looking at players like Derrick Lively, you're looking at Daniel Gafford, PJ, Clay, potentially even Caleb Martin since we just got him. Just take him. He makes more money now. Put that towards a $50 million that's owed to Kevin Durant. It would be a really weird situation. It would open up more roster spots, which means we would have to be more aggressive in the offseason to sign free agents, which then would push us probably over the first apron, pushing close to the second apron. But if you're Nico Harrison, if you want to win right now, that's what you got to do. But Let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you think going after Ben Simmons would have been a good thing? Or do you think there's a silver lining to the fact that we didn't sign for him? Or you want us to go out and get Kevin Durant over the summer? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for making a start to the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing a giveaway every single month on this channel. Only way to enter our giveaways is to become a channel member of any tier. But, till next time, y'all take care, drink water. Peace.